See, what all have we talked about? We've talked about how your money was gave to you.
Yep. How
Talking about how you bought yourself into street outlaws.
Inherited money, bought into street outlaws. Yeah. That I've never street raped. Yeah.
So, how hard is this struggle, which we're not going to get deep off into this part of it, but you're a very religious person. You're a pastor.
I am.
You actually married Stacy and I.
I did, and I'm proud of that.
And you fight a struggle all the time with trying to do your walk that you're doing here and keep your shit together on a TV show with racing.
True.
So, why?
Well, I honestly believe that God instills you with passions. And he instilled me with a passion to do this, and I like doing it. And to me, we can have an impact in the world. And I'm not doing it for that reason, but you know, as you noticed, and we talk about it, I do try to live my faith in daily and live it out in who I am when I relate to people, right? And so, to be a pastor, to have my family be involved with us in church and in our love and pursuit of what we think is right with God, does seem maybe to be at odds with what would be No Prep Kings, right, or something like that, or even street racing, where that's not normally how people are. But I look at it.
That's not how people are.
But I look at it, and you know, Jesus got his friends together and went fishing. You know, he never told you not to have fun with your passions, and I think if he gave you the passions, then follow them. And so I'm just having a good time with it, and I don't see it as at odds with faith, except for when I do dumb things on TV.
Well, but here's the thing, and this is what I've told you from the beginning. There's Robin Roberts, the street racer.
Yeah.
And there's Robin Roberts, the pastor.
Yeah.
They're one and the same.
Yeah.
Just this one has a better filter than this one.
Yeah.
And you're trying to combine the two filters,
Yeah.
which has caused you a lot of conflict in your decisions that you're making at the races.
Sometimes.
From what I've seen.
Sometimes.
And from what we've talked about.
Yeah. Well, you know,
maybe as you're pulling in, you need to have your talk and go, hey, I need a 48-hour pass on.
But I don't
because yes, I have
don't
watched
believe
you
in
do
that.
that. I've watched you do shit that you should not have done. I'm gonna say it. You've been over when you shouldn't have and didn't stand your ground because you didn't because you wanted to be righteous in what you were doing,
right.
but you weren't because you weren't true to yourself. You weren't true to what you actually thought.
Yeah. So that's a tenet where what do I believe about what I want to be in respect to my relationship with God, and you know, you asked me a question. So my intent is to be a forgiving, loving person who can walk away from something and let it go, and who will be respected for that. And so, are there times when inside I wanted to pummel someone? When inside I wanted to call them every name in the book and instead only called them one? Are there times when I've lost? Yeah, but
hey, you know, so I didn't bring up the fact that when you were walking back up to the line, that your wife is who kept you from doing something really stupid over that shit with Chuck.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because make no mistake about it, Robin Roberts loves his wife.
Yeah.
On a whole different level.
Well,
and if it wasn't for Melody, being the calm one in this perfect instance of what I'm talking about, because when you heard about it, I know what you were going to do.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been good.
The whole crew, when they told, but see now, if you watch
but that's
the show,
that balance
you know,
between you and her.
Yeah, it is, and we come
That's
back.
the
and
balance
protect
I'm
each
talking
other.
about.
Yep, we protect
because
each other.
she stopped you from doing something as a husband, as a man. Of course, you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And you still fight that a lot. I can watch it on your face.
Yeah.
But that's that balance between you and her.
Yeah, and when you see it on TV again, there are things that it's just. I think they just compress time because they don't have 4 hours of TV show.
No, they don't.
8 hours.
They
right?
don't. And the whole idea behind it is to create controversy. Is to create people talking. Is to get people fired up. They want them mad at you. They want to. I mean, hey. I'm a prime example.
So I didn't know any of that happened. I had no idea that she had chirped at them. I had no idea that Chuck had called her a very ugly name for a woman. I had no idea that those things had happened until probably a half hour later. When I'm back, we're in the pits, we're doing things, and Melody comes over to me sheepishly and says, I got to tell you something. What? She says, I did something really bad. And I'm thinking, okay, did you do, put oil in something? Did you break the car? What are we talking about? And she said, well, I got into it with Chuck. I said, that's not bad. And she said, well, this happened. Oh, that's bad. And I start, and she grabs her arms around me. Alan comes and grabs her around me. Tara's standing in front of me like, no. And I said, get out of the way. And they're like, no. Let's tell you this. So they tell me the whole story. And it's again, that's that piece in myself where I'm
Exactly
able to,
my point.
I'm able to take that and say, if Melody talked to him, even though she said, well, Chuck didn't apologize, but I did. And to me to say,
Oh, you're
okay,
still not over it.
well,
You'll never get over
I'm
that.
not saying,
but you are. You have made peace with it.
yes, I've made peace with it, and I've let go of the fact that now, and for many
Allegedly.
races after you watch,
Allegedly.
you watch in the season, like I don't try and whoop Chuck, and I could, and I don't mess with him, and we just don't talk.
You've
And
accepted.
We don't need to.
So
I've moved on.
Here was
It's
my
okay.
point and how this
It is what it
ties
is.
back into to your walk with God thing.
Yeah.
When it's time, when there's that time
Mm-hmm.
that you don't cross that line, you reel it in.
Yeah.
So these little things, this is my opinion as your friend, that you worry about, it's the major things.
Yeah.
That's where you keep your shit in check. And the balance between you, because if Melody was half as fired up and such a as everybody thinks, she'd have said,
Go get
Bobby,
him.
go get him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
But
It's just it was a situational thing.
but I'm telling you see how I'm pulling all this
I do.
into every action, everything that everybody's ever seen out of Robin Roberts,
Yeah.
because you can't always be the nice guy.
No.
I mean, you're a very nice guy. You're a very generous guy. You're a very appreciative guy. There's all these other things about you, but there's still that part
Oh yeah.
that, and this is what bothers me, and why I almost quit following your deal, because I'm gonna go on there and I'm gonna say some shit that's gonna be real bad. But the thing is a lot of people like to take kindness
For weakness.
for weakness.
And it's not. And that's one of those situations where, hey, I grew up, I told you, poor and in rough neighborhoods. I spent a few years in grade school in Wichita where it was fighting every day. I am not afraid to fight.
Oh, I know you're not.
And I'm not a little guy. And I'm not afraid. There's been very, very few situations in life where I'm afraid. Right? Now, I'm more afraid of losing my cool and doing something that would be you can't take back.
That's fact.
And so I keep that pretty reeled in. But you're right. It's not. I will not let it settle for weakness. And if you need it,
Well, that's one of the things that's bothered me, is because they say, well, he's got a lot of money, he's got this, he's got that. So I think I've addressed about every point. But the other thing is I feel sorry for the guy that actually takes that kindness for weakness. And it almost happened.
yeah,
And if it wasn't for your wife, it would have happened.
yeah. I hope it never does. In all honesty, it's just not.
Everybody thinks I'm violent. I'm not violent. I'm lottie-dottie and love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. I'm not in that place. If Chuck would have called her that, he'd still be drinking through a straw for the rest of his life. But I don't have, and probably at that point in time, she wouldn't even try to stop me.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing. What I'm saying is, don't ever think because in my opinion, the fact that you're passionate about racing,
Yeah.
the fact you get mad when you lose,
Oh yeah.
and you get excited
Oh, I
when
agree.
you win.
Yeah.
That's part of this. That's
Right.
part of the passion of racing. Because if you don't have that, then what the fuck are you spending money on it for?
Well, we go through all the effort, all the work, all of the time, all the money, and it's an expensive sport, right? And so,
By the way, when we're done, I got to talk
Everything-
about a loan. I don't know if I.
everything then is amplified.
Yes.
Everything's amplified, and you know, and I know it is for them too. And so I give them grace when people do something they shouldn't. And I asked, we talked about Brandon James, I asked him for grace after. And you know what? Because you get in those situations, and only the people on the internet, the reason I don't take it that serious is because you can say, oh, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. Dude, if you spent all that time, effort, and money, and somebody jacked you over something, or somebody called your wife that name, trust me, you're not taking it laying down. And
You're at a
my wife
crossroads.
going to take it laying down.
You're at a crossroads where you got to make a decision, and those are not easy decisions.
No, and
I have tried to walk you through this shit, and you've had to learn some hard lessons. By the way, have I been wrong yet?
No, not yet.
So,
You've been wrong. No, you haven't been wrong. Some things you've said haven't happened yet, but you haven't been wrong.
yeah, well,
I said yeah.
I would think that you would want the things I've said not to happen.
Yeah, and then I do.
Because it's not like there was a whole bunch of good in there.
No, I get it.
But I still go by the thing that Cub always said they're doing the best they can for who they are.
Yeah. I mean, I give people. Not everyone's different. Some people are more fiery, like my wife's more fiery. I'm not. You know, everyone has a different personality type, and I give people a lot of breaks for being.
Trying to think of the question I could really put him on the spot about. I think I have the whole time.
Yeah, some good questions, that's for sure. You know, I would say.
Oh, the best question.
Uh-oh, here we go.
The best question.
Yeah,
I asked you this question when you wanted to come to MPK.
yeah.
Why?
Why? Well, again, if I love this and I want to do it, then why wouldn't you want to do it at the highest level? And this is where the best racers are, the best teams are, the best competition. And so I want to compete. I want to compete with the best.
So, and be on TV.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that it's on TV. I mean, here's what I think about that too, right? Everybody who says, if you say you love something, you're really passionate about it, but I don't want anybody else to see it. I don't think that's real.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
It's just like when somebody will say, hey, man, I want to do MPK. Why? Oh, I just want to race. Well, if you just want to race, there's 100,000 fucking races out there that you could go win.
Right.
I mean, I can take that car and go dominate. Well, you guys are all at MPK.
Yeah.
I go suck up all this money from all these other guys that can't run with that circle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth of the matter.
Why do circle track racers aspire to NASCAR? I mean, a part of it, I mean, all of it is racing at the best level, got it. But there's also, who doesn't want to be known for what they're passionate about and what they're good at? Nobody. Anybody who doesn't, that's another one where, to me, you're just dead inside if that's not who you are.
The whole reason we got old cars, everybody says, oh, I just do it for myself. Bullshit. You do it to where when you drive that car and you pull up to the gas station. Now, I got
Some
over
of
this a
that
long
too,
time
right,
ago.
right.
Because you're going to hear about your brother's, this guy's brother's cousin back in high school had. I mean, that's part of this. The racing, nobody wants to be number one and not let everybody know.
Yeah, of
In
course.
TV, they'll do it and you can still be humble.
Yeah.
You don't have to have two foam fingers. Says Robin Roberts number one. They're going to show you being number one.
That's true. Well, so that TV aspect adds a whole different level of, this is not NHRA. When we get done with an interview, or when we get done with a race and you are interviewed, unlike NHRA where you simply say, I'd like to thank my sponsors, did really well today, the Haviland car was really rolling and I cut a great light and did what I was supposed to do, and that's it, right? And that ain't us. One, we don't know our times. Number two, we don't particularly always like the guy in the other lane. And number three, like, this is no Prep Kings. You gotta call it what it is. And so we do. And I think that's cool. I think it's a raw part of the sport.
I think you need to let a little bit more of that out.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yep. And I do want to do that, but in a situation, I want to do it in a way. So 4 years I've been bleeped twice. I've actually counted them. My wife's been bleeped more than I have, but I've been bleeped twice. And so,
Hey, I tell you what, until you can even move the decimal point of times I've been bleeped, I don't want to hear about it. Because I'm telling you, you can't even begin to get. Hey, they actually one time, they let a few fucks slide through. Oh yeah, they have.
Wow. Yeah.
Because
There you go.
I guess sometimes it might be to the point where the conversation be, well, I tell you what, he can kiss my beep 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 ass beep 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 beep.
They gotta let something in.
Yeah, so I guess I had to let a few fucks slide through to where it made sense.
Cable TV. I don't even know why they do believe it, but they do.
So, what's your plan?
Yeah, I live each day.
Oh, you know what?
Same way.
Another thing. So why have you not opened the wallet? We already talked about the team, but why have you not opened the wallet up to have multiple motors, multiple cars, multiple everything? Why are you still reserved? I know the answer to this. I'm trying to phrase it in a way that you can give your answer to it without me giving it. But why don't you open the fucking purse strings up and just let it all hang out?
Well, to be honest, the crazy answer, I don't think that's responsible.
There we go.
The number two answer is what I gave earlier. Like, I also want to do it the way that I want to.
That was what I was aiming towards,
Yeah.
because if
Hey.
Robin wanted to,
Oh, yeah.
Robin's got a big enough checkbook.
Yeah.
He could have the professional team. He could have multiple cars. He could have all this shit. He could skate those rules so fine and get every advantage.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He doesn't go crazy about it. You don't see Robin Roberts pulling in there with a 56-foot hospitality tent and all the shit that you could do.
Yeah.
You still keep it you still try to keep it at a level with everybody else.
Hey, until this year, we didn't even
And
have
a little bit
snack.
of it, you're a tight ass.
No, I'm not a tight ass.
Oh.
But I am. I do like. Here's what I know. This is one of those sports.
I think that one got him better than you. You
Oh,
can't be
no.
a tight ass.
Yes,
You
trust
can't
me.
race and be a tight ass.
Ask my wife. I am not. So, but you know, you can't do this. If I see people. I've seen people over the years go broke doing this. I've seen them mortgage their houses, second mortgage their houses, do all kinds of stuff in order to just be competitive. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I could field all the team and still not be in that situation, but that doesn't seem right. It just doesn't feel right.
Maybe until you made one too many bad slips.
Or until.
I mean, you make one too many bad slips. Well, case in point.
Yeah.
I know about how many meetings you have, and when you're buying other businesses,
Yeah.
you go let's put it for instance in here.
Mm-hmm.
You go MPK racing. You're out testing your car.
Yeah.
When you should be, and you put somebody else. Hey, you go ahead and take care of that meeting.
That's right.
And they sign a $200 million deal that is not in your favor.
Yeah. Well,
Then how long?
Yeah, but I'm
saying worst case, if you got to the point, you don't have to get to the point that you're mortgaging your house.
No.
You can get to the point that you're letting your business slide.
Well,
You're not in your business like you need to be.
You're right.
I know, because that's what I did.
here's a real answer to that. So, racing costs me money. Not just the money you see me spend on the track and what we're doing. It costs me opportunities. I know a lot of people. I'm good at my business. I could grow our business even more than we're growing today with the teams and what we're doing if I applied more effort. But you know, you get to a place in life where you say, well, what's enough?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there, fortunately. And so to me, it is okay. I want to enjoy my passions, and also, like, COVID taught me something. COVID taught me that we could run a business and I don't have to be there every day.
Mm-hmm.
My teams learned it. We all learned it together over a year and a half of how to. I mean, I can work from my laptop on the road, and the beauty of it is, like, when you're street racing or you're doing MPK, most of them are at night or on the weekend. So in the day, I can go in the motorhome, do my business, and I can come out at night and race. And you can keep track of most things through Teams meetings or emails or things like that. And I have a great team. I've been doing this 30 years. So I've built great teams of people that work for me and support me, and I support them. And it just is pretty easy when you trust the people around you. Now, I don't let them sign $200 million deals. Those are mine. But, you know, we do them.
But you would never mortgage your house either.
I would not.
What if you're in the points championship? You're right there and it's the last race.
I might.
That's the part of this shit that people don't understand.
Yeah.
You have to know when to cut it.
Yeah.
You have to know when enough is enough. I'm at that crossroads right now with this car. You know.
Yeah.
I want these two Synergy motors
Yeah.
really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you're talking about $150,000 for two motors, and that's getting a deal on them.
Yep.
And I could get them.
But you and I
But
have
I
had
can't
these
justify it.
conversations.
Exactly.
Right. You and I have had these conversations. You should do everything you can to be as competitive as you can, to win what you can.
And be smart.
But do not put your family and your life in jeopardy. When you do that, you've gone too far.
Yep. And that's where a lot of people. I watch these guys chase this
And
deal.
we know them.
Oh yeah,
They're out there.
yeah. I watched some really good people let this shit destroy them.
Me too.
I told Rob when we first started. This is funny. I said, listen, don't let this shit with some of these assholes out here. Don't let them change you. I actually said don't let the 405 change you.
You did.
But when I say the 405, I'm talking about the people in the 405, and it's no secret who I don't like and everybody else that I'm still friends with and will always be friends with. I said, Robin, whatever you do, don't let them change who you are. And what was your reply to that?
Maybe I'll change them.
Survey said, eh.
Yeah. Huh? It is what it is.
Some people, well, everybody's doing the best they can for who they are.
Yeah.
So I think production. Do you think we've covered everything? I think I've answered all the internet questions.
That's the tough ones.
Huh?
You asked the tough ones right out.
And as soon as as soon as Stacy shuts that off, I'll find out if Rob and I are still friends. Kill him.
Only if you don't pass scales.